Hey, good morning, guys. Welcome back to another tool video. Yesterday was Snap-on day, and he got me pretty good yesterday. Just a few things I had ordered, and then something else that he got me on, and I think he already had it marked as sold before he even stopped in my shop because he knew I was gonna buy it. So just go through the little things first. Just got a set of the long picks. I've had the short picks for a really long time, and I've really enjoyed them. Probably one of my favorite Snap-on sets I've bought. And I've been rocking cheap long ones for a while, and they've broken off, and now they're all straight picks. So it's time to upgrade. I went with the pink. I'm normally a red guy. I went with the pink just because the other tech I have in the shop now has the red ones, and then also the pink ones, for whatever reason, were like $5 or $10 cheaper than the reds. So there's two reasons to buy pink, I guess. And it is breast cancer month, so that was a good one. I got this guy. This is the TPMS tool. So it has the what even is it? This is the T something. I think it's just a little T10 or whatever. The size for the TPMS sensors, for the tire sensors, and then it has a valve core tool on the other side. Just kind of a nice, and it's in the Snap-on hard handle with a little pocket clip. Just kind of a nice valve core tool. A lot of cheaper ones bend and stuff like that. So this guy, at least if it does bend, it'll be warranted. And then also not that expensive. It was like $20 or something like that. And cheap ones 9 or 10, so it's not that big of a difference. They do have here it is. I got the one that's just a number 2 Phillips, and then a quarter flat blade, and super handy. I love it. Whenever I'm walking out to go to a machine, I have my select few tools that I always bring with me before I even get going on it. I bring this, trim tool, a couple other little things, just things that I know no matter what the machine is, I'm gonna be needing those tools to work on it. So when they had the tire version, I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I really enjoyed the other one. For the $20 it is, I'll get this. And tire changing season is upon us here in Canada, so gonna be using that guy a ton. Battery post cleaner, again, winter's coming here in Alberta, so there's gonna be a lot of batteries here coming up soon, and if not changing them, testing them. And anytime you get unhooked batteries, really, you should be cleaning the terminals. So just a wear item, these are cheap. They're like $5, $6, $7. Just replace it, usually once every fall and spring. The other thing I already did a video on the glasses, so go check that out. I really enjoyed these, but I got the shaded lenses for them. Finally come in yesterday, because I find I use these most when I'm driving, and so it's nice to have the sunglasses, especially again this time of year, season shift in Alberta. The sun glaring in your eyes all the time while you're driving sucks. But yeah, so that's the stuff I knew I had coming on the Snap-on truck. And this is where it gets a little more interesting. When new tools come out in the States, it usually takes like at least 3 months or half a year, sometimes even a year, before we start seeing them in Canada, and especially the smaller, more rural dealers. We usually won't see stuff for up to a year after it comes out in the States, especially the bigger items like those super long ratchets. Probably won't see those for another 3 or 4 months even here. But anyways, so this is something that my dealer tried to order, and they said no, like it's going to be a few months before you guys get them and see them. But they actually sent him a box full of these sets by mistake. And so he got his hands on them before a lot of other people will in my area. So I'm one of the lucky few rural Albertans to get his hands on the new Snap-on Nano. What do they call these? NanoAxcess, I think is what they call these. Yeah, the NanoAxcess driver set. A NanoAxcess driver, NanoAxcess. Wonder if it's driver set. Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna call this one the Impact, NanoAxcess Impact. And that one can be the driver. But yeah, super light, very ergonomic. A lot of people are like, oh, well, they feel cheap. They feel like a toy. Well, they're going to be lighter because they're half the size of even the Milwaukee subcompact. But the plastic feels good. It feels like normal, snap-on power tool plastic kind of quality. It does actually have some decent weight to it for its size. It is a brushed motor in these, which isn't great, but at the same time, it is what it is. Something I don't like, and I wish they would have done. So they are USB-C rechargeable. They do have a few lights now that are USB-C rechargeable, but it is a slim battery bank that is replaceable. I would have liked them to stay on that platform, like the smaller battery platform for these, just because now if this dies, I have to go plug it in and I can't keep using it. So if you want to be using these continuously, I'm not sure what the run time is going to be like on these. I have a bit of a tear down and diagnosis on a Ford later today, so I'm going to be using these a ton today. Might make an update video on how I found using them, but yeah, if you wanted to use them continuously between using them and charging them, you probably have to buy 2 sets. But we'll see how long the battery lasts, right? Because if it lasts, on and off use doing a disassembly, and if it lasts the guy through an 8-hour day, well then perfect, right? But even just holding it, you just move your thumb, the directions, has a light up top for battery indication, and a light pointing forward and up kind of for when you're getting down in there. But yeah, the USB-C rechargeable, very comfortable handle. I do have a little bit smaller hands, but yeah, I don't know, it feels really good. Nice foam tray. I don't like the EVA foam that's all foam. I like the ones that have a hard plastic layer up top, kind of like the Capri. Capri's the only other brand that I have EVA foam sets of, and yeah, they got kind of like a hard, more plastic layer, so it's easier to clean. See, stuff like this, I feel like I'm gonna reach in there with dirty hands. I'm gonna get an oil smudge in there, and now it's never gonna look good again. And it's like, well, but it is nice. It is nice. The driver, this is probably the reason why it really sold me on the kit, though. I've been wanting an electric screwdriver for a while, haven't been sure what brand to get, things like that. Doing electrical work in the shop and at home. Things like pulling outlet covers. You don't want to grab a whole great big drill to pull an outlet cover, but you also don't want to sit there by hand and unscrew those little screws forever. Where something like this, nice and slower, right? Same thing, directions. I like the trigger. I don't like the DeWalt one. I've seen that one on the Mack truck a few times. I don't really like that. The Vessel and the Mack and a few others kind of just have buttons. Aren't too bad, but the trigger style, I really like that. Now it is a 1/4 inch, not a 1/4 inch square, not 1/4 inch hex, but most mechanics have, bit sockets. This set here is gonna go great with the stubby Vim set, so you could throw a little T30 on the end of this guy, undoing sensors, actuators, that kind of thing, valve covers, what have you. And the biggest thing is doing up valve covers and stuff. If you're working on, I'm generally not a fan of using power tools on anything internal on an engine. I'm even very hesitant to use electric ratchets just because I do not want to over torque stuff. A lot of things only have a torque setting of 70, 60, or 50 inch-pounds. Things like for timing chain guides, things like that. Well, with these, you're not really worried about over torquing them, which is nice. So that's where these are going to be, valve trains, stuff like that. Not really worried about over torquing them with something like one of these. Like when the max is 44 inch-pounds tightening, well, that's 4 foot-pounds. I could hit that doing finger tight, right? But it's the speed of it is where it's going to be nice. But yeah, same thing, get T30, something on there, or whatever bit you want. And just give her. It would have been nice. I almost would have liked them to have seen them do a 1/4 inch bit version of these, and then just have a 1/4 inch adapter that they sold with it, especially if it was a locking collar or collet. And I think that would have been almost the way to go over the 1/4 inch square. But knowing Snap-on, they're probably going to come out with that next year and then resell a guy on the whole kit all over again. But no, I'm pretty excited about these. Like I said, I'm going to give them a good working today and see how they are, and then might make an update video here in a couple days or so, and kind of go over how I found working with them. But thanks for watching. Leave a like, leave a comment, and if you're real generous, hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you guys in the next video.